Hello, everyone. We are very happy to have you here with a new member to the UNESCO Center for Peace family. He is Dr. Djikeng Appolinaire. He's the director and for the Center for Tropical Livestock, Genetics and Health. He is an he is a doctor and professor. He's also been working um, with the University of Edinburgh, right now he's located in Scotland. And doctor and professor, is an honor to have you here for you to be part of our platform. We hope for you to enjoy this interview, for you to give us these minutes to learn more about you, and most of all for our delegates to have a person to look up in the area of health, of genomics, of genetics. So we are really happy to have you here.
Okay, thank you very much for giving me the time to be with you. It's truly an honor to be with you. Also, thank you for inviting me to give the talk a couple of days ago during your summer program. I was happy and had the opportunity to share about some of the work that we are doing and what keeps us really excited.
No, thank you. Thank you very much. Your conference was really enlightening. Our delegates gave really good comments. They were enjoying it very much. And most of all, I liked for them to have a constant participation, and for them to be intrigued on all of the information that you were sharing with us. So we very much appreciate it. And so let's proceed to the questions. So first of all, researching a little bit about your experience, your work. I've seen that you have dedicated close to 20 years of your life in multidisciplinary, multi-institutional, and global research on agricultural development and human health. So, on that matter, I right now we are amidst COVID-19, a global pandemic that has put to the test the ability of the human species to adapt, and from one moment to another to shift a whole system for us to protect ourselves.
Mhm.
Why I would like to know why do you think that, or what do you think was the state of the world before the pandemic, and how really prepared we were to face such an epidemic?
So I should say that the COVID-19 epidemic or pandemic is not the first time that the world faces that. Um, but it is just that this time around, it came in a very completely different way. And there's been a lot of preparedness across countries, continents, and stuff like that. But it's still, we still did not manage to stop it or to manage it on time. And I think I see the pandemic as also an opportunity for us to learn a lot on how to deal with the next one. But looking at the pandemic itself currently, it's been extremely disruptive. As I mentioned a couple of days ago when I gave my seminar, many people are restricted to travel, to go to work, to go farming, to do the usual things that bring their livelihood. And it's been extremely difficult, as you can imagine. And I would like to see it mostly from the lens of someone who cares a lot about people who live based on what they farm. And you would see that, the rural population in low and middle income countries are most affected because agriculture was has been disrupted. People have not been able to collect their products, to harvest them, to take them to the marketplace and to sell and to buy what they need. So it's been extremely difficult. But I think the important lessons that we can learn, we can look at the food systems as a whole. Where does food come from? Who produces the food? What kind of processing that food takes, and how does it get to the table, to households and stuff like that. A very careful examination of that can actually help us to ensure that should any other pandemic like this come in the near future, we should be able to avert it or to provide means for populations to be resilient. So that's how I see it.
Well, yeah, I think that the key word in your message is resilience and the capacity for the species as a whole to adapt to to such a situation. And yes, we know that we have had many pandemics. Actually, it was a topic of research for mine, just as a hobby.
Mhm,
But
mhm,
I do think there's many things that we can get to learn from how to respond. And also, we on the summer program, one of the key words has been unite and collaborate, and
yeah.
for us to consider that it it will not matter if a whole country protects itself if one of its land borders another country is
Mhm,
not taking the correct actions. So
mhm.
so yeah, totally agree with your comment. And also on that matter, I would um, I would like to make you a question that is uh, uh, well, it's more near to my country and
Mhm,
also personal to me. I am um, I am a patient with diabetes since I was 8 years
mhm,
old. Now I'm 17, uh,
mhm,
and it has been one of the main topics that people uh, with chronic diseases have greater challenges when it comes to facing coronavirus.
mhm.
And on that matter, I would like to know what recommendations do you have for people whose immune system is not a benefit or a strong asset for them to protect themselves from the disease.
So I think the we are very fortunate because in this day and age, knowledge can travel. People you can access good knowledge and you can access knowledge in a very timely manner. So we've all learned that people with underlying conditions appear to be a lot more affected with this virus. So, one of the things to do is really follow the instructions of public health officials. They've been extremely useful in nearly all countries. The problem has been that many people have not been following those instructions. How you can shield yourself, how you can exclude yourself from the general population and reduce the risk of contracting the virus and stuff like that. That's really the most important step. The second one is really to eat right, and if you're under any medications, continue to follow the advice of your doctor and stuff like that. For the immune system, the preferred thing is always that each one of us should have the best immune system, which is ready to fight any infection, ready to produce antibodies, ready to do what the immune to defend you from any infection. So I think for those who have underlying conditions, it doesn't matter whether it is affecting your immune system or not. It could be diabetes, it could be obesity, it could be hypertension, it could be anything. The most important thing is to be aware of it and get the most important advice from your doctor. But in a public health situation like the one we are in, the only thing, the number one thing, which is the most important, is follow instructions, protect yourself, and protect others. That's the most important thing you can do. The number one thing that you can do. Every other thing will be secondary to that. So it's really awareness and having the information is really really critical.
Yes. Yes, also one key topic that we been revising is that science can really be our best ally when
Mhm,
it comes to situations like this one. We've seen it with even climate change and now with coronavirus on how really being able to have the knowledge and have the facts will give you the
mhm,
intelligence and wisdom that you need to face such a situation.
Yeah.
So uh, I um, I would to to know for you that there's I know that we have some of our delegates that would love to go uh, into areas of science and for them to be part of the development and of the digital transformation that we're facing right now. So,
Mhm.
on that matter, I would like for us to tell you why do you think that technology is it's getting such an important role in, for
Mhm.
example, the achieving the sustainable development goals?
So technology is really the results of innovation. So as humans, we've been very, very innovative over hundreds of years. I think at the moment we are seeing fantastic innovations that are leading to information being exchanged very, very rapidly. If you look at the area of medicine, because it's really topical today, telemedicine, for instance, doctors are able to see patients who are not sitting with them in the same room. And doctors are also able to examine the results and the x-rays and all kinds of information generated from a patient who may be thousands of kilometers away. So that's the type of innovation that's helping us. It means you being located in one place doesn't limit you from having the right healthcare or having access to the best expert. I think innovation in terms of data generation, information exchange for me is the most important thing because previously we used to say somebody who has traveled a lot is full of information. It's still true, but today you don't have to travel so much to have access to information. You just have to, you can access it through a computer. You're sitting there in Mexico, I'm here in the United Kingdom. We can exchange information. We can even do things together. We can sing together. We can record music. You can examine me if you're a doctor, or I examine you if I'm a doctor. I can do an experiment. I can do something. I can demonstrate something to you. The only limitation will be that you wouldn't do it, but you can see how it's done. So I think innovation in terms of information generation and exchange for me is very, very important. If we bring that back to the topic that we started off from, the COVID-19, you see that when this outbreak was announced and reported, you know, the virus was identified. In China, the genome was sequenced and people could access that information from any place in the world. It means they could use it to design methodology for doing diagnostic. And we are very fortunate to hear this news that, there are many potential vaccines that are in the pipeline. People could start even thinking about designing their vaccines or starting developing their vaccine without even touching the virus or even extracting the virus from a patient. So I think that's the kind of innovation that will help us today. And you can see that this ability to share information very rapidly is very transformative in nearly everything. Whether you are in business, whether you're in education, whether you are in medicine or any other thing. And one of the things that, I've been very fascinated about during this crisis is that in most parts of the world, education became an online thing, which was at the beginning seen as a very difficult thing and stuff like that. And today I was reading an article, you know, reporting on the good side of doing that online education. One, one of the dean of a school somewhere in the US was saying that attendance is near perfect. People who would otherwise not be in the classroom can attend. Maybe they were late or they cannot wake up in the morning or they're blocked in traffic and things like that. You don't need to go anywhere, you're there. Secondly, is participation. In a setting in a classroom where we're all sitting next to each other, some people are shy. They are not naturally inclined to ask questions and discuss. But when you put things online and you give them the possibility to ask questions either live or just writing their question in a chat box or even doing it anonymously, then you see more question coming. So it means, through these challenging times, we've also learned the best way of engaging people and making sure that those who don't feel very comfortable in a face-to-face setting can still participate. There are many other things that have come through this. So, somebody will say, never waste a good crisis. This was, pandemic is not good, but at least we had this as a crisis. But there are so many things that we've learned in virtually any sector. Telemedicine has become a, thing of, it has become very topical. And even this online teaching, I'm sure when we go back to normal or close to normal, there will still be some hybrid system where there will be classroom setting with some practice and demos and stuff like that. But a good part of that can still be online, at least to ensure that people can attend, they can participate, they can ask questions, they can have discussions that would otherwise not happen when we're all sitting in the same room. So I think those are some of the things that, we can learn. They're part of innovation as we move forward.
Yes, yes, and that study is actually really interesting. For me, actually, my school decided to go digitally before the government declared that we needed to be in quarantine. My
Okay,
school from
that's
one day to
interesting.
another. I am
Mhm,
in Tecnológico de Monterrey. It
mhm,
was I remember perfectly. It was March 12th. It was a
mhm,
Thursday. They announced that we
mhm,
were going into digital classes.
mhm,
So on Friday, everyone picked up their stuff. We stopped
mhm.
having classes for 1 week for our professors to literally readapt. We
And
had like
prepare.
yeah, like 2 months left of the semester for them to
Yeah.
readapt it in 1 week.
Mhm,
And after that, we went into Zoom, and our classes, like in literally just 1 week, our classes
mhm,
transformed from being presential to being
mhm,
digital.
mhm,
So I do very much agree, and I do think it's really interesting to find out the benefits that
mhm,
our new lifestyle
mhm.
has brought. And education is especially, we've seen that, well, it's a key factor for the development of the
Yes.
society. But I also think that the pandemic has triggered something really special in the kids and in youth, and that is curiosity.
Mhm,
Because every day, like, they all of them, I bet, did at least the basic Google search of what is coronavirus, like
mhm.
what is happening with the world right now,
Absolutely.
which is like millions of Google searches that wouldn't have happened otherwise.
Absolutely.
So so on
So
on
there is
on
one
that.
thing that I need. There is one thing that I want to mention. Apologies before we move on. So we talked about, you know, um, online learning, but as a parent, I also want to flag something that we all must be aware of.
Of
So
course.
this online learning can disrupt has disrupt social interactions, and
Yes.
to the extent that sometimes we all sit next to our computer from morning, we risk sitting there for long hours. And we should really have self-discipline to ensure that we set up regular intervals to to stand up, take short walks, go outside, stretch a bit. Otherwise, obesity and some of the diseases that are related to people not exercising will increase. So it's all nice and good to say you know online learning is a good thing. We can do it our own convenience, but we also have to immediately start with very strict and self-discipline. The habit of stopping somewhere, going outside, interacting with people, and also wherever and whenever possible, get a group of friends to get together, have a face-to-face chat. Otherwise, we will forget how to interact, and then it will become awkward because our society cannot thrive only because we're innovating. Our society will thrive because we can also interact, as humans. We can meet each other, we can work with each other, and stuff like that. So that's one
Yes.
thing that I wanted to mention, especially
Yes,
for
of
younger
course.
people. Otherwise, the rate of obesity and things like that will increase significantly.
Yes. Yes, of course. We have to see the both sides of the coin, and I do agree that interaction has. And actually, I know that there's many people that tell each other like, okay, let's connect and let's do a Zoom meeting and let's get all together and just chat. But
Mhm.
there's also people that are gonna tell you, I was all day connected, I was all day in my classes, and I don't wanna see another screen for at least a few hours.
Exactly.
So I do think that that is a very important point
Yeah.
to bring out and to bring into the conversation. Um, on which actually on that matter, I like, because right now, sadly, what this pandemic has caused is that when you see another person that is outside the people that you are at home with, you feel scared,
Hmm.
and you feel like this sense of like auto protecting your health, and not and like not touching anyone, no surface, no anything.
Hmm.
So on that matter, what I I would like to ask you, what do you think it's the best mindset, or at least the best way for us to, because we know that the pandemic like turned everything into a in 180 degrees in one moment to another. But now we
Hmm.
have the opportunity to slowly reintroduce ourselves into what was in part our past life, but also with the all the innovation that has come. So on that
Hmm.
matter, which recommendation or in what way would you propose for people to start reintroducing themselves into society?
So I think each country is working, or in each community, we are following specific guidelines issued by the government. So the social distancing, creating a network, two families can come together, and then the third family. We just have to do that, and we shouldn't feel very bad about it, because we are showing. I mean, following those rules actually demonstrate that we care. We care for ourselves, we care about others, and things like that. So, and explain, for those who are not aware of, understand that, I may have been exposed or something like that. Please, you're my friend. There is no problem with that. But give me a couple of days to ensure that, I isolate myself. Those are the things that, communication, and demonstrate that for me, it's just a way of caring. Because if I go somewhere, feel that I've been exposed to something, or to somebody who could be infected, come back home, I wouldn't just go directly to my family. I will tell them, listen, we should take 7 to 10 days to see where this thing is going, or whatever many days are requested or are recommended by the government or the local public health authority, and we go with that. So that's personal responsibility that we must take. And within the community, if we all do that, then we will see that, overall we will reduce the risk of infection, exposure, and things like that. So I think communication is very, very important, so that people don't feel that you're avoiding them for no reason. You may be avoiding them, but they should also know that it's because you care for about them that you're trying to keep off or keep away from them. Yeah. So I
Yes.
mean, the rules cannot be, I cannot provide a general rule for everybody. My recommendation is just that for any community, any place you live in, there are public health officials who know the numbers, who are getting all the tests done. They know exactly the rate of infection in that community. They've done all the risk assessment, and they can give you the best recommendation on what to do.
Yes. Yes,
Mhm.
exactly. And like I think something that is key is for you to like not take it personally. Like this person has been in isolation for at least 4 months,
Mhm.
and she or he has not able to receive a hug or to have the interaction that was used to. So just slowly bringing it up. I do think it's a good way for us to start. And now that we are reaching the end of the interview, um, um, uh, Professor, I want to tell you that, well, first of all, it was an honor for you to be part of our speakers for this year's summer program.
Mhm.
Something that I am thankful about is that I know that maybe if it weren't for coronavirus and the event was done presentially, we wouldn't have
Mhm.
met. So that makes us really happy, and that
Good.
also we've seen it with our delegates. Normally we have approximately 150, and this year we had 400. So we
Wow.
more than doubled the
Mhm.
the amount of people that we are connecting with.
Mhm.
And you brought up a topic that I very much appreciate that you commented about on how the interaction is going to change, and how it is important for us not to consider, yes, like see the benefits, but also see what can we done on the aspects that got really affected and impacted. So we very much appreciate your words, your wisdom, for you to share it with us, with our delegates, and we are very happy to have you in the UNESCO Center for Peace family.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, Erely. It was really good to be connected with you, and hearing your story of where you are at the moment and the wonderful work that you're doing. I it's very hard to imagine that you're that young, because you have a good command of the things from the day I gave my seminar up to now. I thank you so much for the work that you're doing. And the world is in your hands. As I mentioned in my seminar, we're all connected, interconnected. It doesn't matter where you live in the world, you're part of the same community, part of the same society. It doesn't matter what you do and how you do it. If you're committed, we can all achieve those goals. And for us who are a bit older, I think we will be moving out of the picture. And then we hope and we are very confident that people like you will take on, so that we can leave the world a better place that we found than what we found. And you can, with this connectivity, global connectivity, you can learn about Africa, you can learn about Asia, Australia, North America, Europe, anywhere without traveling. And I think the level of connectivity that you've had, 400 delegates, they're sitting from different parts of the world, is really to build a strong movement, for you to make the world the place that you would like to see, transform the world in a way that you like to see, so that people can care about each other. Diseases like the COVID-19 will not go away completely, they'll always be there. And we should really build strength, resilience, so that should anything like this come through, we have the connectivity, we have the trust, we have the ability to exchange information, and also we have the innovation to tackle this. So really, it's been a pleasure for me to be part of this. And thanks for the opportunity that you gave me to talk about my work, to talk about my 20 plus years of very passionate bioscience for agricultural development, looking at low and middle income countries, people who live in rural settings, people who really are most vulnerable. What is it that we can do to support them, to make them resilient, to make them part of the society, not because they are begging, because they're also producing the food, they can generate their own income, and they can live as happy families wherever they choose to be. So that's really a good opportunity. And I hope, I inducted some of you to be interested in the sort of things that we do, so that, you can go to universities and finish university and set up your own profession, your careers, to do this sort of work. Thank you so much. And I want to thank the UNESCO Center for Peace for the work that they've been doing. In 14, 15, 16 years, they have really, really done an amazing job. And I want to thank the executive director, Djikeng. I hope he's on this YouTube channel, for the amazing work that he's done. And he's really gone beyond the call of duty to get young people like you who will drive this initiative for hundreds of years to come. So thank you so much and congratulations.
Oh, thank you. We very much appreciate. I very much appreciate your words. For me, it really has been a surprise to be able to connect not only with the delegates but with the speakers, and be able to talk with the leaders of today. And I am so happy that I've been telling them that I have hope that the next generation that are coming to the stage, that we have role models like you, and we can follow in your steps, continue your pathway, and overall for it to be an intergenerational journey in which we work together for us to live even a better world when it is our turn for us to go. So
Absolutely.
I very much appreciate for this space. Mr. Gidillo can
Mhm.
gives you his greetings. He was not able to be here, but he gives you his. Uh, he's very thankful for you to be able to connect with our delegates. And
Mhm.
overall, I wanna say that I feel so grateful to connect with you, and I am really happy.
Thank you so much. Have a good
Thank
evening.
you.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.